Hello and welcome to our press conference event here at COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan. My name is Keith Wingard and I am the Strategic Partnerships Manager with Solar Cookers International. And I'm joined today by the founder of the organization called Community Mobilization for Positive Empowerment, based in Kenya. We'll be talking a little bit today about something that many of us often take for granted in the climate implications of cooking your food and access to clean cooking and how it relates to climate change, the environment, health and gender. And so I'm excited to be able to talk a little bit about this particular topic and about the work that we've been doing at Solar Cookers International to address improved access to clean cooking in communities there and in other places around the world. As I mentioned, I'm happy to be joined today by Rosemary. But before I turn it over to Rosemary to hear a little bit more about the work that she's doing, I wanted to start by introducing the overall challenge of addressing clean cooking in places around the world. This photo is a common cooking scene in Kenya. As you can see, this woman is using biomass. She's using some cardboard to start a fire, and then she's relying on wood and charcoal to cook her meals. This is something that is a common experience for over 2 billion people around the world. The latest estimates are that around 2.1 billion people rely on wood, charcoal, and other polluting fuels and technologies to cook their meals. This has health, gender, environment, and climate implications. And at Solar Cookers International, we think using renewable solar energy can help address this, this clean cooking deficit. The overall, if you add up all of the emissions from the point of use of biomass for cooking, it adds up to an estimated 2% of global emissions. This is roughly on par with the aviation sector. So although this is sometimes not talked about because of the fact that many people are contributing to this, it is a significant climate topic. And so for us at Solar Cookers International, we're here today to talk about this issue, to talk about the need to address this issue, and to talk about one way to go about improving access to clean cooking technologies. As many of you maybe are aware, access to clean cooking is a particularly acute issue in Africa, South Asia, Southeast Asia, these regions around the world that also happen to have an abundance of reliable sunlight. So the countries in gray are places where there are still less than 25% of the population that has access to clean cooking. Meanwhile, these same countries have some of the highest solar radiation or solar access, sunlight access, around the world. You put these two things together and you have solar cooking technology that can help use this sunlight to create opportunities for clean cooking with reduction in health implications from breathing in smoke and other air pollution, and a reduction in the demand on forests for cooking fuel, a reduction in the time spent going to access cooking fuel, which is disproportionately borne by women and girls in many places around the world, and also the time spent actually cooking and tending to those cooking fires, and as I mentioned, also the climate implications as well. So us at Solar Cookers International, we focus on advocacy at events like COP and other opportunities throughout the course of the year to advocate for the use of solar cooking to address this challenge. We also focus on research, so we have a testing component in the work that we do that looks at particular products and determines the standard cooking power. And we also have a capacity building component where we work directly with partners in many places that are trying to implement solar cooking programs that can be scaled to address the urgent need for clean cooking solutions in those countries. So in the slide behind me, you can see a couple of the most basic designs. From the left, you see a reflective panel cooker. This cooker is a cardboard substrate with a reflective material on top. This can be a low-cost model, but can still be effective in reflecting, trapping the heat, the light that's used to create the heat required to cook food. Similar in the middle, there's a box oven cooker. This also reflects the sunlight and has a glass on top that creates a greenhouse. This greenhouse can be used to trap the heat and cook food without any of the air pollution associated with burning fuels. And finally, on the right, we have a parabolic reflector. This parabolic reflector is used for high temperature cooking. So if you're trying to fry foods or cook at higher temperatures, that particular technology might be the best one for you. A few other solar cooking devices are the Fresnel lens and the Fresnel mirror, and the evacuated tube model. All of these devices use the same principle, using direct sunlight to create thermal heat energy that can be utilized for cooking purposes. Solar Cookers International, ourselves, we're not a manufacturer. We are a nonprofit organization that looks to work directly with partners in countries that are interested in solar cooking and develop that local manufacturing capacity so that this solar cooking movement can be a sustainable way to continue addressing clean cooking going forward. Solar Cookers International has been around since 1987. We have hundreds of collaborators around the world, and our mission is to improve human health, economic well-being, women's empowerment, and the environment by promoting climate-friendly solar cooking, in particular for vulnerable populations worldwide. As I mentioned, we do this by pursuing initiatives related to advocacy, research, and capacity building, and we're working to address this clean cooking gap that still impacts over 2 billion people around the world. I am excited to be joined. Unfortunately, we had one of our speakers was not able to join us today, so I'll skip ahead here. SCI's program in Kenya is focused on Kakuma refugee camp in the northern part of Kenya. As you can see on the map, Kakuma is in the north part where there is sunlight available around 300 days a year. So solar cooking is a great way to use that freely available sunlight to help decrease demand on wood and forest resources. In our most recent cycle, we worked together with our local collaborator to distribute 106 standard-size box ovens using best practices, including inclusive design, working directly with refugee women as solar cooking champions as our trainers, and collecting data for a quick needs assessment, a baseline and an adoption survey to determine the impact that solar cooking can have on these communities. Rosemary, although we don't, I want to bring you into the conversation now. Although we aren't working directly together in Kakuma, you have a wealth of experience both using solar cookers and promoting solar cookers as a way for people to have access to clean cooking. Can you please tell us a little bit about the work that you do and why you think solar cooking is an appropriate technology for people in Kenya?
Thank you so much. As Keith has said, I'm Rosemary Atieno from Kenya. I run a local organization by the name Community Mobilization for Positive Empowerment. I'm from Siaya County in particular, where there's a lot of sunshine, the better part of the year, and we have the lowest forest cover. Reason being, we are using too much fuel for our cooking and other uses. So I'm glad to be here to share a little experience on how it has been with solar cooking. Being from an agricultural background, I started learning about solar cookers way back when I was still in college, in practicals, but now I am actually doing it on the ground. And I want to say it has been an experience trying to market the solar cookers with our women. And it's a great experience for them. For those of them who had never imagined that cooking with solar is possible, it is very possible to cook with solar. The only thing you need to do is to be patient a bit, because some of the foods will require long hours of cooking, like maize and beans will require like 8 hours. So it would just need a woman to plan herself well so that she begins early to be able to trap the sunlight that is required for cooking. But we are not promoting solar cooking on a standalone. We are promoting it alongside other alternative energy sources, like the fireless cooker. This is a simple basket that is used to continue the cooking once you begin from the solar. We are also promoting energy-saving jikos that go a long way in helping you complement the solar cooking. So solar cooking is a way of just trapping the sunlight, collecting the sunlight. After collecting it, using it to cook your food. And the heat is not too much that would even lead to the burning of your food. It's just enough for you to cook your food to the required levels of temperatures that you're able to feed your family. So the various foods are cooked using different timelines, and we have those timelines. We have tried and tested them, so we know if you're cooking vegetables, how many minutes do you require? If you're cooking maize and beans, how many hours do you need? If you're cooking rice, how many hours do you need? So this has been a very interesting scenario for us in SCI County, where we are actually trying to pilot this and practice this. Many of the women are gaining to try to understand how you can use solar for cooking, because a better part of the year is a sun-filled year for us in SCI County, and a small portion of it is a rainy season. So if we can train our women using the trainer of trainer model, train one woman how to use the solar cooking, and ask her to train another two, then we will be spreading the gospel to where we really require the cooking to reach. It has been an interesting scenario for them. Just a few days ago, we had an expo in Siaya called the Forum for Women in Climate Actions, and we displayed the solar cooking, and many of them were really interested and excited to learn how to use the solar cookers. So it means this is a message that we are already taking down to the ground, and it's a message that is being received positively. All we need to do as partners is to come up with a model that we can use to help our women access the solar cookers, help our women on how they can produce the solar cookers. So for me, it's an opportunity where we can have eco-entrepreneurs from our youths and our women to be able to craft the various models of the solar cookers that they can easily sell to the community and be able to spread the gospel. As the fires continue and the temperatures continue rising, we really need to really act fast to be able to help our women. I would say that solar cooking has several advantages. Some of them are: one, we are going to reduce the cutting down of trees for firewood. We are going to reduce the number of respiratory diseases that come along with using various types of firewood. We are going to encourage creation of income for our women. We are going to reduce gender-based violence. In Africa, our men expect to eat hot food. So if we have the fireless cookers and we have the sunlight cooking for us, then we are able to go to the farm, do our work, able to come back home, eat clean food, and eat warm food. And in the result, we will be reducing gender-based violence. Our children will be able to eat warm food when they come from school, and our women will have more time to attend to other development agendas in the community. The time being used to look for firewood, look for water, coming home to cook, going to the hospital will be reduced, and we are going to include our women in the leadership positions that we want them to be. So for me, it's a local-led solution that can improve on our gender issues and be able to bring our women on board, especially in terms of leadership, contributions in the society where they live. Thank you.
Yeah, great. You're really hitting all the points that we emphasize at Solar Cookers International, right? This is a solution that's appropriate for these communities and can really make a significant impact on a number of different levels. So it's a win-win-win with the health, environment, and climate implications, in addition to those gender considerations that you've also been talking about. Solar Cookers International emphasizes collaboration. We're a nonprofit organization based in the United States, and in order for us to find success, we really need to have partnerships with organizations like Rosemary's, where we can work together to address this challenge. So one of the things that we do in Kenya is we have worked together with an organization to develop a training program, and we've also worked together to identify a local manufacturing workshop, basically. And so these photos here are from the most recent cycle, where we've identified the manufacturing supplier. They're able to produce box ovens using materials that are locally available, using an open source design plan that's available on our website. Perhaps there's a few modifications that we might need to make in order to make that cooker produced locally, but that's part of what we're able to provide at Solar Cookers International. We have an array of technical expertise that we can use to work with our partners. We also emphasize data collection. So part of our program includes a quick needs assessment to determine the current cooking situation, and also identify families that are most willing to try a different way of cooking their foods. So here we see some traditional 3-stone fires that some communities have been using at Kakuma, and this helps us set ourselves up for success in our programs. Another critical component, like Rosemary was talking about, is training. Some of these solar cooking technologies are not familiar to the communities where we're working, and so it's really, really important that we have somebody that can help the new recipients understand what a solar cooker is, how it works, and how to get the most out of this new device. By setting these new households up for success, they're able to successfully cook meals early on and replicate that going forward. In the past, maybe if without training, there have been situations where some solar cooking devices are not well understood, and then they end up becoming furniture instead of a cooking device. So having somebody that can speak that local language, that has the trust of the community, and can work together with the new solar cooks is really, really critical component of a successful program. We work together to design a program and work on logistics like distribution. And we have that follow-up component as well, where we can see what the baseline is and what the end line is. 4 months later or 6 months later, we have our collaborators go into the communities and help determine what kind of impact solar cooking is having. What we've been seeing is that women are spending less time collecting fuel for cooking. There's a reduction in health problems, and families are saving money. Our latest cycle has indicated a 45% reduction in household cooking fuel expenses, leading to a savings of approximately $7.65 per month. Some of the things that we're hoping to explore further going forward is how to use some of these savings to pay back a loan, like Rosemary was saying, maybe collaborate on a village savings and loan or microfinance mechanism, where those savings can be re-diverted to pay back a loan while also having some of that stay in your pocket, which means you're having an economic benefit each month. And every day that you're cooking with free solar energy, you're reducing your household fuel cooking budget. So I wanted to ask a follow-up question to some of what you were talking about earlier, Rosemary. You were talking about the excitement that some of the communities that you're working with are seeing, and you talked about this is happening right now, right? This is a great idea that's happening in a number of places, and not only last year or the year before, but this week, this training event that you're talking about. These are photos that we just received within the last couple of days. And so I wanted to ask, what are some of the reactions that you often see when you're introducing solar cooking? And then also at the community and grassroots level, what do you think is needed to accelerate the growth and adoption of solar cooking in your community in Kenya and beyond?
Thank you so much. I would want to appreciate the people who created this forum for us. This was this week, and I don't think it would be out of order if I recognize one of the partners who is seated right in this room, who made this possible for us to be able to share this knowledge. That is a CBO, an organization that we work with in the community in Siaya. It's called Siaya Muungano Network. And Hillary is right seated inside this room. So if I am lying, he will say Rosemary is lying. So Hillary, thank you so much for creating this opportunity for us to be able to market this. And this happened the day before yesterday. And we were having women coming up to bring out the climate voices from our women from the grassroots. And some of the things they were sharing were things to do with agroecology. They are sharing the advocacy that they have learned and sharing the various methods that they are using to adapt and mitigate to climate change. And I would still repeat and say there's a lot of excitement on the ground where women are coming to learn of the various options that they have. And I always say that I grew up in a rural community where my mother would wake up very early in the morning to go and look for firewood, look for vegetables, carry water home, come back to cook for my father, cook for me, ensure that I'm well taken care of. And this really did not go well with me. It bothered me a lot. So it has been a driving force for me to ensure that women live the most comfortable life, women are empowered. So for me, solar cooking is an avenue where women can have income-generating activities. How are we going to have these income-generating activities? One, we can train them to be local artisans to be able to make these solar cookers. As I said, the solar cooker, the box solar cooker is the most basic that you can see there. The women can be trained to look for the boxes, be able to make these solar cookers, and be able to sell them out for an income. Two, they can be trained on how to make the box cookers, because I no longer believe that there is any job for a woman or a man. We can do all the jobs that are on this earth, and we have proven that we can do it. So for me, it's an opportunity for the women to be able to be trained on starting small eco-entrepreneurships that they can use to generate money. Two, for me, it's an opportunity for them to be trained as trainers of trainers, to be able to carry this gospel forward beyond East Africa or beyond Kakuma Dam, Kakuma refugee camp, and we can spread this gospel everywhere. Using the model that we are using at community mobilization of trainer-trainer, then one woman who is trained can be able to train 2 neighbors to be able to use solar cooking, and the gospel will be spreading. We do not do solar cooking on a standalone. We do solar cooking with other items alongside. One is kitchen gardening, so that you are able to harvest your vegetables from your small garden. You are able to use it to be cooked on the solar cooker and preserve it on your fireless cooker, meaning you'll have more time to be able to address other development issues. Two, this does not go standalone. It goes along with the trainings on climate smart agriculture, so that we are tackling climate change in a holistic manner, but solar cooking becomes our key driving force to be able to help our women cook healthy food. They are able to do their work, go to the farm as the food is cooking, come back home and eat very healthy food. Then finally, we are exploring options of using it as a dryer, because we have a lot of seasons where there's a lot of vegetable production, but a lot of it is going to waste. And we just realized that food waste contributes a lot to climate change. So we are saying we can use this as a dryer, where when we have excess vegetables, then we can train them to use this to dry their vegetables and store it for future use or even for sale. So for me, there's an opportunity that is existing that we can actually tap into, create social enterprises for our women and our youth, develop a village savings and loaning scheme where the women can actually borrow money, make these cookers, use them and repay back, and be able to help others to get into the fight for climate adaptation, mitigation, and resilience for our women. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Rosemary. Again, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about collaboration. We're talking about partnership. We're talking about the impact that solar cooking can have. And I want to also make sure to show the photos of the food, right? We're talking about cooking, so we want to see the food. Like Rosemary was saying, sometimes seeing is believing, and sometimes tasting is believing. So these are different foods that have been cooked by a solar box oven at the Kakuma refugee camp. And foods that are particularly appropriate for a box oven are foods that are energy intensive to cook. Rice, beans, stews, those things that you'd have to simmer slowly over time, those are the exact foods that are perfect for using a solar box oven to cook with. So this is what, at Solar Cookers International, this is what we're trying to emphasize. We hear a lot about the energy transition and even the just energy transition. Part of that means transitioning away from fossil fuels. On a macro level, that means we're using more solar energy, more wind energy, more other sources that can help us move away from our reliance on fossil fuels. But at a micro level, at a household level, part of that just energy transition means women and families in countries around the world where this remains an issue can have access to solar energy to help cook their meals. That energy that's needed allows them to decrease those health concerns, to decrease the demand on the forest while increasing their resiliency, adapting to a world where forests are increasingly important for us to preserve and move forward in a way that can rely on that solar energy, that freely available solar energy, and have those economic savings as well. So all of these are some of the aspects of solar cooking that we emphasize. And for us, we're really excited to see that this enthusiasm is coming from a number of different nonprofit NGO organizations in many countries, government representatives, even some exciting interest from some of the for-profit companies that are wondering how solar cooking can be part of what they're advocating for going forward as well. So I do want to just say thank you again to the UNFCCC for organizing the events today, to the people of Azerbaijan for welcoming us to COP29. And I do want to add, although we don't have any time for questions here, if anybody's interested in talking more with us, we'll be available just outside the press conference room to continue the conversation. Thank you everyone for being here today, and we look forward to solar cooking with you someday soon.